Before I talk about credit, there's something that is very dear to me that I need to say. I mean no offense by it, but I will swear. If you're black, sometimes you feel the world is against you. Sometimes you feel you're having to deal with racism. Sometimes it feels like the world isn't fair. I know sometimes it angers you and you feel you want to scream it from the rooftops. My advice is to shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. Yes, there are racist people in this world. Yes, there are people that won't like you for the color of your skin or however way you look. We are humans. But I want you to pay attention, not only to our struggle, but to understand that we're not the only ones who have been enslaved. Indians have been enslaved. Irish people have been enslaved. We've had it the worst. But the difference between everyone else and us is we do a load of this. Everybody else, they shut the fuck up. What they do is focus on themselves and better themselves. You see, if each individual bettered themselves, the community is better. So rather than you competing with someone that looks like you guys can elevate each other. There is no need in this day and age to hate someone that looks like yourself and not want to support that. But first and foremost, you have to take care of yourself before you support anybody else. And if we do all take care of ourselves, we can get ourselves the respect that we want. We can get ourselves elevated in community, and our children and children's children will be safe. I'll give you an example. I've never been to Atlanta. And apparently, now in 2021, Atlanta houses the most black millionaires in the United States. Yes, marches are necessary. Yes, sometimes it's good to scream and shout. But 90% of the time, it's good to shut the fuck up and get on with it. And before you know it, there's an Atlanta. Music Mecca used to be New York and LA. Now, if you mention music, you have to mention Atlanta. The reputation of Atlanta, the possibilities for black people in Atlanta was because some people shut the fuck up and got on with it. They used what was there and available to them to their advantage. They read books. They used their credit and influences. I'm not saying all of this to trigger anyone, but if we don't fix ourselves, don't ask anyone else to. We've been asking for years, nothing's happened. We need to fix ourselves and let that reputation grow. I mentioned earlier that Irish people used to be enslaved. Some Northern Irish don't like some Southern Irish. But have them both move out of Ireland, they will fight for Ireland. But the most important thing is when you see them and you notice it's an Irishman, you will notice it's an upstanding citizen. Someone who needs and wants for nothing, who has family around him, and every one of the family members are not criminals, or everyone is doing what they can to better themselves. We can't always point the finger outwards. Sometimes we have to look in the mirror and think, okay, let's see what we could do about this and change. So now I'm going to go into credit. And credit is something that is available to all. It doesn't matter what color you are. Doesn't matter what race or gender you are. It doesn't matter at all. All it matters is numbers and green. That's it. Credit is very, very important. It can move you out of the hood. It can help you start a business. It can help you buy a franchise if you don't have a business idea. Just someone else's business that you can manage. Another department in a different location. That's a franchise, sorry. Right? So credit can help you to elevate your life and put you in a better situation. And once you're there, your reputation, it will travel far and wide. And if we all did that, the level of respect that we'll and treatment that we will receive will be far different from the one that we receive today. Right, to give you a basic understanding of credit, is virtually the money you owe in comparison to the money that you have available to you. I'll give you an example. If in your savings account you have 100 and in your current account or checking account you have 20, and you do have a digital footprint in the credit system, but you owe no money, your credit rating will be high. If your checking account or current account is £50 overdrawn, yet you still have £100 in the savings, your credit rating will be about average. The money you owe versus the money you have saved available to you is more than 50%. The more you borrow and the closer it gets to that 100, the lower your credit rating will be. And once you go over on your borrowing versus what you have available, your credit rating will be really, really low. You will get the worst deals, the worst ratings, the worst interest. So how did I get myself in the credit system? When I was 18, I went to the bank and asked them for a credit card, and they said no. They said to me, I don't have any borrowings. I haven't borrowed anything, nor am I paying for anything on credit. So the first thing I did was go to a mobile phone store and get myself a contract. At the time it was Mercury 1-to-1, which turned into T-Mobile. Yeah, Mercury 1-to-1 it was before. Damn, yeah, those brick phones. I'm old. Anyway, so I got myself a contract phone, and I made sure that I paid my bills every month on time without fail. Well, within a year, at the age of 19, I went back to Barclays and they gave me £325 on a credit card. Now with £325 on a credit card, my aim was to try to raise it enough so that I can do the deals that I wanted to. So what did I do? I continued to pay my bills on time. I started to save money. £10 here, £10 there. I had 5 accounts. One £7,500 ISA, one £3,500 ISA, one savings account, and one current account. Savings account, I can touch the money. Current account is for the bills. The ISAs I don't touch in case, unless it's for emergency. So that's what I did. I started to spread my money in different accounts, even with the same bank. And what ended up happening is my credit rised far into the 800-900s. Now, initially, when I called Barclays back and asked them for a raise on the credit card, they gave me 500 from 325. And once again, I cut the card up. But that was 500 within 8 months of me having my mobile phone contract and the initial 325. So my credit rating was high, but I was still young, so they gave me 500. And then what I then did is got another credit card, which was Virgin. They gave me 3,000. And what did I do? I cut that credit card up. I didn't use it. The reason why I cut the credit card up is because I knew they wanted to make money. And I was essentially their customer now that I have these cards. They are banking on me spending the money on some stupid shit so that I can continue to pay them forever and ever. That was not my plan. But I needed the right amount of money to buy a house. So every year, Virgin and Barclays will send me a letter. You haven't used the credit cards. Why haven't you used the credit cards? I just ignore them. I ignore them. 2 years, and then I made the phone call in 2 years, and I said, the reason why I haven't used your credit cards is because you haven't offered me enough money. How much do you want, sir? What's the maximum I can get? That's when I got my 9 and 9, 7. You have to play the long game. By having a credit card that I didn't touch meant that I constantly had money available to me. Even though I'd cut the card up, I constantly had money available to me. Right? I would then manage my account, or should I say manage my money between 4 accounts, even if my checking current account, main current account, went overdrawn by 10, 20, 50 pounds. Because I have money and I have credit cards, my credit rating wasn't affected. I just needed to find the right deal and the right opportunity. Regarding credit, when you're trying to build it up, it's important to stay within your means. You don't necessarily have to do certain things. You have to try to cut things down Because what you need to do is try to build enough money available to you so that your credit rating can go up and you can ask for a certain figure. Every time you default, it goes onto your credit file. Your credit file is what companies use to determine how good you are with money. If you're the type of person that pays everything on time, or pays everything late, or pays anything at all. If you're young, it's important for you to build credit. As you're young and you have less responsibilities, it's far easier for you to manage your bills, so that by the time you come out of your home, your credit is in full flow. This doesn't matter what you look like or where your address is. As long as everybody in that house is paying their bills, you'll be fine. You have to overcome the fear of credit cards, because when used correctly, it is good debt. When the money puts money back into your pocket, then that credit card becomes one of your assets, because it's now leverage that you can use. It's not an asset directly. I mean, you can't invest in a credit card, but what I'm saying is it's leverage that you can use to acquire assets, to better yourself. Assets that can pay you income or dividends, and this can help better yourself. As long as you don't have to pay back that credit card payment with your own back, it's a good deal. Okay, this is especially for you if you don't like your job, you believe you're getting paid a really low wage, and you want to change your circumstances. It is far easier for someone who works in McDonald's to become financially free before someone who works in J.P. Morgan, for example, becomes financially free, especially if the individual lives within their means. Let me explain. The salary that you earn is very, very different, but each individual would live based on their salary. If you get paid, for example, $1,000 a month from McDonald's, and you can cover all of your bills and still live with this $1,000, all you need to do is make $1,000 a month out there for you to continue to live as you're living right now. Financial freedom. For someone in J.P. Morgan who's working 120 hours for 10 grand a month and living in a certain area, certain area, paying a certain rent, taxes, so on and so forth, they will need to cover their bills before they become financially free. So essentially, if you work in McDonald's, the 4 houses would be nice. You can be financially free with 4 houses. Maybe even less than if you get the right deals. But if you work in JP Morgan, you probably need about 30 houses, because your lifestyle, based on your wages, you now have to cover that for you to be financially free. I say that to say this. It doesn't matter where you get your money from. What matters most is what you do with it. And I'm going to leave it there. You guys take care of yourselves. I'll see you in the next video.